We finally have a ton of new footage for Magneto, the newest playable character in Marvel Tōkon, and we are going to essentially make a breakdown of his playstyle and moveset in this video. A huge shout out to all the people that appear in the footage, like Yipes, Cloud805, also Diaphone and K7 Showoff. Go to their YouTube channels, subscribe to them, support them, and now let's get into the Magneto breakdown. So the first thing we have to talk about to understand Magneto is what exactly is his overall playstyle in this game. And if we look at all the footage, it is very clear that the character is pretty well-rounded. Like, he's relatively versatile, okay? He has really good, for example, fireballs in the long range. He has good normals up close and in the mid range in terms of, how big they are and how strong they look to just run your strengths and offense. Then he also has relatively decent combo damage and more. So it is not like the character is super rigid in his overall playstyle, but if we really had to label him in one specific archetype, we have to say that it's Zoner, okay? Like, the character very clearly excels at zoning. He's so good when it comes to controlling the screen and the overall pace of the match with fireballs. Like, he has fireballs both in the ground and in the air with multiple different angles, and he has different types of fireballs, not only one. And then on top of that, he even has a specific type of attack that looks like a fireball, but he can actually suck you in with magnetism and that specific, follow-up of the attack. And then you're right on Magneto's face, and it is his turn, like he's plus on your face to run his offense. So the character very clearly, even though he's well-rounded and versatile, the main archetype of his playstyle and moveset is zoning, or essentially just controlling the screen, and neutral with the overall zoner like attacks and abilities. But here's where things get really interesting, because Magneto in this game is not only an amazing well-rounded character and a great zoner, but he also has a unique mechanic that allows him to play around buffing his own special moves, and it just looks so cool and unique. It is amazing. I love the design of this mechanic. So the way in which it works, it is essentially that Magneto, after using some specific special moves or attacks, he can leave this kind of like magnetism in the background of the stage with some like scrap metal or stuff, going on there levitating. And then if you use a specific special moves within the range of that scrap metal that is there, levitating because of the magnetism, you can actually enhance your moves, okay? You can get better fireballs, better special moves and attacks overall. So it seems like the character not only, again, is a well-rounded, like versatile character that is also a zoner, but he plays around buffs, okay? He likes to buff his own special moves and create new versions of them that are stronger and better. So he's gonna be a relatively interesting character when it comes to trying to use the buff of the scrap metal in the background the best way possible, and how you can incorporate that, for example, for better pressure, for Oki, for also better zoning capabilities, or even better damage and combo routing. So really cool mechanic. I love it. I think that it is one of the most clever things we've seen until now in the game when it comes to, designing the playstyle of a character. So I'm glad that they did, or follow this path. It looks really cool and interesting. And here you have some examples of how people have been using this install or like buff mechanic that Magneto has. There is clips of people using it for corner pressure after Oki, like they end a combo, right? They do an entire combo route, the combo finishes in the corner, and then the last hit of the combo is something that gives that, buff or install in the background, and then the next turn you can essentially run your offense or your Oki with the actual buff in the background available to enhance your own special moves, which is really cool. There's also some clips in which people have been using the scrap metal buff to actually enhance their projectiles, and for example, you can actually absorb enemy projectiles when you have access to the enhanced version of that specific fireball. If you actually just charge it right in neutral and you start to try to get and absorb all the metal in the stage or the overall like screen to make the fireball better. So it seems really cool and strong. And there's even a clip in which they use the enhanced version of the pressure fireball, this move that Magneto has, in which he hits you full screen and he sucks you in, and he's plus some block on your face to run his offense. There's an enhanced version of that move in which he's even more plus, because the move has an extra projectile on top after he sucks you in for the pressure. So it just looks so strong. If you actually, over time are able to optimize the way in which you use this like buff mechanic that Magneto has, it's probably gonna make him so strong and so oppressive. So really cool mechanic. Again, amazing design for the character. It just makes him really unique. But then we have to talk about another move that makes Magneto even more complete, and that is the fact that he has a command grab, okay? Yes, this character that seems so good in terms of zoning and a well-rounded playstyle, he can also open you up close with command grabs. Of course, it doesn't look like the best move in the world, like it is quite slow and it seems reactable, but the fact that you're playing a character that is like Magneto, so like versatile and such a great zoner, and then he can also open you up close with command grabs, it is always a threat. It doesn't matter how slow it is. So really cool that he has a command grab. You can also enhance it with the scrap metal or the buff, mechanic that Magneto has, and it makes it do more damage. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do combos with the command grab. Maybe there's a world in which we can do command grab into assist and have a combo, but it seems until now like it is not possible. But the character seems insanely complete. The command grab, adds another layer into how well-rounded his moveset is. So really, really dope and cool. But it doesn't end there, because Magneto actually has another unique mechanic. Not only the buff with the scrap metal in the background that he can leave, to enhance his special moves, he has another special mechanic that is unique to only his moveset, and that is magnetism. You can actually access it if you do some specific moves, like the charged version of some of your normals, and then after you do that, the enemy has like a debuff, there is a specific animation or like lightning on top of the enemy, and that means that you can use magnetism to suck them in with some of your special moves and attacks. So it's not only that Magneto can buff his own special moves, but also he can debuff you as the enemy and leave you vulnerable to magnetism attacks. So it seems so unique and cool. Again, like the overall design, it seems like they just really tried to push for Magneto in this game to be as faithful as possible to the comics, the movies, and whatever piece of Marvel media you can think of in which he uses his classic powers. So I'm really happy with the way in which they designed the character and his moveset. It just looks amazing and super fun, cool, and unique when compared to the rest of the roster as well. Let me know in the comments what you think of Magneto and his moveset in this game. Did you like it? Did you actually think that it could have been better? Like and subscribe if you want to support the channel or you want to see more Marvel Tōkon content and for other fighting games as well. And if you want to see another Marvel Tōkon video, I invite you to watch the one that is going to appear right now on the screen, in which we discuss the possibility of the champion being playable when the game releases, and other specific parts of the champion in the lore and story of the game, and why he's arguably the biggest question about the future of Marvel Tōkon before release.